Hey guys, welcome to another commentary done by Diggity. Upper left hand corner, we've got the one, the only Herbmon, or Megabed Herbmon as his alt alias, maybe for lack of sleep. Could be an inside joke between him and Semih. They oftentimes are rooming when they go to these lands. They'll do the pool group Airbnb thing, sometimes with Neon Sword. I was in one of those, and if I go to one, I can't do that again, only because I spent the entire night talking to them, and my voice was like semi-gone for the next day when I had to cast. And it's just one of those things where if I hang out with these guys, I'll just be talking StarCraft all night and just enjoy shooting the breeze a little bit too much. So it's one of those things, it's like, how do I describe this? It's like, you know, you don't want to... There's certain drugs, I'm sure, which are like the most amazing experience you'll ever feel in your entire life, but they're not healthy for you, right? Because then you have nothing in comparison, so it's like, stay away from that drug because it's so good to ruin your life. I feel like that's what it is, being able to hang around these guys and just talk StarCraft all night before a tournament. Very grim metaphor, but I'll stick with it. Anyway, between these two, Semih, Herbmon, I feel like they were even, or closer to even at the previous tournament. I think since the last tournament, Semih has gotten better than Herbmon overall, and particularly in this matchup. So it'll be interesting to see how it goes overall. That's not to say that Herbmon has regressed at all. He's actually improved as well. It's just that Semih has really kind of taken extra leaps and bounds. I'm not sure what the result of what the cause of that is. By the way, we are seeing an overpool with a drone cancellation trick on the Vespene Geyser to sneak out an extra drone in the midst of this. We are seeing a forge first rather than, and we're going to get first scout from Semih off a double scout from the probes. So ultra safe. Herbmon wanting to apply pressure. If he can block that probe. Oh, he's locked that probe. If he can keep this up. Whoa, great micro right there. I'm not sure how much of that was intentional, but now that might have opened it up because we got 6 Zerglings on the way. Semih's waiting on the wings. If he drops anything that is not a cannon right this second, and if he doesn't do it in a hurry, he might be in trouble. So finds the base, sees the eggs. He needs 2 cannons immediately. Yeah, drop the cannons now. And the Zerglings are away. This will be interesting. Now the probe's got to do some timing block. Does Herbmon? Oh man, this is unfortunate for Herbmon. I think Herbmon, if he went straight across, might have been able to get on top of these cannons with all of the delay that happened in their placement. He's able to force the 2 cannons. Now Semih, though, I'm wondering if he'll opt to cancel one, because with the Zerglings chasing around. So gonna get the Nexus. Looks like he will let them complete. Well, I guess that would have been an incredible risk. And Semih actually able to get a little bit of additional time blockade, I believe, here, or at least able to spot the positioning of what the third will be. Herbmon really wants to swat that probe scout. He's dedicated a lot of early game resources to do so, dropping the gas about 306. I'll be curious to see if he's thinking about going for 3-hatch Hydralisk, and maybe that is why he's, or some other creative play, which is maybe why he's dedicating so many resources and so much attention as well to try to catch out this probe. Really wants to put Semih in the dark. Gateway forward, by the way, with positioning for a 3rd cannon potentially underneath. Gas dropped for him as well. But you can see the Zerglings are fanning across, just wanting to deny it. He's done a really good job of denying the information. Still has not killed that probe as of yet. And the Overlord's still not in position to see additional units make their way across the map. I'm curious if another probe will sneak out here for Semih, so that even though this Zergling occupying, you can still maintain the scout. Was that an early transfer? A little bit of an early transfer. Looks like the probes are going to hold. However, well, maybe some of them. Okay, there they are. Yeah, gonna make their way back. Get out of... Are going to be able to make their way over and at least spot that 3rd coming online, but the drones... Yeah, I was wondering about that. Hydralisk Den has been plopped down. I think Semih's going to sniff this out, especially with all of the dedication to the information denial. Yeah, I think this is certainly... I think he'll be prepared. And there's the Zealot making its way across as well. These 5 Zerglings, as long as they group up, should be able to dive on top of the Zealot without too much trouble. But there is a corner right here where Herbmon might miss. Yeah, he's missing it. That, oh man, he had the Zerglings right there as well. So now the Zealot going to be able to march not only into the natural expansion, it's going to be able to walk all the way into the main. So rather than a probe providing the additional information, he's going to be able to walk into the main, see the Hydralisk Den, is going to be well prepared, Just small things like that. So that's really heads up there on Semih. Herbmon spotting the Zealot rapidly, so isn't going to take significant economic damage. Does end up losing a drone, which is not all that terrible considering how deep this Zealot got. Was he going to lose a second drone? Oh, wow. This is what I mean by Semih's really picked up his game. So not only cycled around there, but was able to pick out 2 weakened drones to get 2 kills off his Zealot while Zerglings were chasing. And Herbmon's no slouch. That was just really good heads up microplay in the midst of this. The Hydralisks were initially making the way across. Semih sending another Zealot across the front to buy himself some time is going to get another drone kill. And Herbmon having some trouble. I think playing a little bit flustered now is the turnaround. And this has allowed Semih actually to continue to... So he's delayed the cannon drop a bit. I wonder if Herbmon's gonna, now that it's been, this is kind of the interesting head game right this second. So Herbmon sent a lot of the Hydralisk forces out. We saw a few extra drones piling around. It is possible to just send a few Hydralisks out onto the map and then just go re-macro behind this. Now those Hydralisks are making their way with a Zergling and a drone. Drone wants part of this fight. This Zealot has peeled out and gotten underneath the vision as well. Overlord in the main's been killed by this Corsair, so Herbmon actually in the red on top of everything else, and that's really bad because now you've got all these drones right here. So 4th hatchery dropping at the 9 o'clock position, but this Zealot is certainly going to be able to stop mining and might even get some additional drone kills. And this is why while Herbmon's slightly distracted here, okay, now recognizes able to peel that away. Is at least going to get a gateway. Oh, the Hydralisk decided to stop here on the front for some reason. He's going to get a gateway. He's not going to be able to get the Forge. The Corsair looks like it's going to get an additional kill, and that Zealot's still active as Zerglings swing back around. Okay, now the Zergling's able to box that out finally. Looks like we do have a tech to layer. That Overlord is going to get... Well, come on. You got it. You got it. You got it. Is able to get the kill. Takes heavy damage to do so. Herbmon has drone fairly heavily at the natural. There's also no second gas as of yet, so a bit behind. Man, he droned heavily actually. Now that I look at the overall worker count, we have the tech to layer in the midst of this, a lot of drones in the main and a lot of drones, well, a decent amount of drones, probably more increasing here at the 9 o'clock location. Semih has got a couple gateways. He's got a Dark Templar on the way. He's got 4 gateways. I think he's going to recognize that he's got an opportunity to potentially... Well, first of all, he needs to move out onto the map a little bit more rapidly than usual to make sure that Herbmon isn't that he gets punished for playing this economically aggressive in between. It looks like a cannon was canceled, by the way, from Semih to stay on top of this. Another Corsair making its way out. The question is when? And this is a small attack force. 5 Zealots running across. 5 Zealots is plenty, honestly, though, to engage this. The Corsair is making their way back across. There's only a single Hydralisk, so that fresh Corsair, with the support of a second Corsair, might be able to get yet another Overlord kill. The Zealots chasing down that attack force mid-map. Corsair splitting, grouping. It looks like they see that Herbmon is now transitioning into more Hydralisk play. So there's this window where this Dark Templar and these Zealots need to find a pocket where the Hydralisks are not to get some damage. And it looks like while the Corsairs are trying to distract the units towards the north, these Zealots are going to dive into that natural expansion drone line. The drone's going to that protective cusp. Several of them are going to lose their lives for that. These Zealots going to occupy the reinforcements. And where'd the DT go? DT went to the 9 o'clock location. Herbmon responding rapidly, but having to deal with all sorts of problems on all locations. This is completely, so he's not mining at the natural right this second. He's not mining at the 9 o'clock right this second, which means his economy is basically running off a single base, which is not a lot at all. So despite having what was a hefty drone count, Semih making his way out, getting the economic damage done that he needed, and Herbmon's economy just not recovering. Semih putting on a clinic and handling this perfectly. Just perfectly. He's surged in supply. He's got double the supply now. He can probably take a 3rd base at will. Herbmon just now getting the resources back running, is finally getting his units staged back into gas, is working on +1 weapons and Overlord speed in the midst of this to try to deal with the Dark Templar that were running across the map. The Dark Templar with 5 kills and exited, by the way. And I'm looking to see that the only thing that I can fault Semih for right here is his not grabbing an additional base, while there aren't, not recognizing that he did enough economic damage, that the lurker upgrade isn't there. and that he can just go ahead and grab an additional base on top of everything else. So, but honestly, who can blame him? +1 weapons. On top of these zealots, no +1 weapons for the Hydralisks as of yet. Some zealots not engaging, but now repositioned. Again, Herbmon's natural expansion shut down. We have a Dark Templar. Dark Templar did not get into the 9 o'clock once again, but they're going to go ahead and marathon their way all the way up into the main. The Dark Templar made it all the way into the main. Now that Spire is going to fall. So forget about Scourge in the mid game. The Dark Templar splitting off from the rest of the army. The Overlord's trying to find it on position. Again, Herbmon, despite having a very healthy drone count, not able to mine at his various bases, and as a result, not able to transition this healthy economy into a solid attack force. And the Dark Templar, wow, able to sneak its way around, get up to 10 kills. Hero for the cause right there. Semih's built a sizable army behind this. I don't know that he needs a third. As soon as he has his first observer out, he's got all these gateways. He could probably just walk out and just ram a huge amount, and he's got a lot of energy on this as well. Herbmon looking for a counterattack, but running into a superior attack force. Also, this army coming in a bit piecemeal. Semih doing a great job. Now that probe makes its way out to grab the third base. Hydrals regrouping here bottom left. I'm wondering if they can make an end around to capture that probe. It might be a challenge to do so. Cannon's working on taking the eggs down on the ramp to allow larger army deposits to make their way across. Psy Storm dropped. One High Templar does get picked off, but it is able to cut into those attack forces. The Hydrals can make the way to the 9 o'clock, but where's the Observer? The Observer is probably not that far behind. There's the Observer. We got an Observer here. What, we got 2 Lurkers, 3 Lurkers? That's not going to be sufficient to defend this natural expansion against this attack force, especially with the upgrade advantage right this second, and Psystorm dropping. So Semih really speeding it up, recognizing Herbmon's economy could really kick it up. It looks like the Hydrals did make their way back to try to engage the rest of this. The natural expansion, it's been a theme right now. Natural expansion getting slotted. Herbmon changing position to re-engage. Has some juicy Sidestorm targets for Semih. Looks like he is able to get one Sidestorm off. The High Templar are wiped out, but there's just too much. Yeah, I think Herbmon, recognizing he was just getting swarmed, wasn't able to keep up with Semih. So Semih doing a great job, everything he needed to do, and just playing fantastically. Herbmon just couldn't get that economy rolling the way he wanted to. So game 1 goes to Herbmon. We're going to move on to game 2. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Thanks for listening.